Hello everyone. So sorry if I look very tired. I am exhausted. But today was the day they announced the International Booker Longlist for 2025, and I have seen on passing the list. I have considered read or done two books on that list. But the rest I have not heard anything about, so I'm interested to see what I think about any of them. So we're going to go through the list together and see what's interesting and what's not. So the first book in the list is A Leopard Skin Hat by Anne Sarre and translated from the French by Mark Hutchinson. And it's about intense friendship between the narrator and his close childhood friend Fanny, who suffers from a profound psychological disorder. It's a simple, emotional, elegant. A series of short scene paints the portrait of a young, will and tormented young woman battling many demons and the narrator's loving and anguished attachment to her. Yeah, so far, like, the description was fine, nothing crazily interesting, but fine. But the fact that it's in short scenes, I'm not usually into those kind of books. So this one is not one that appeals to me from the description. The next one is On a Woman's Madness by Astrid Romer, translated from the Dutch by Lucy Scott. And I think I have seen that this one was written actually like 40 years ago and has been just recently translated. Yeah, this classic of queer literature is electrifying today as it was when it first appeared in 1982. Tells the story of a courageous black woman trying to live a life of her choosing. When Nonka's abusive husband of just 9 days refuses her request for divorce, she flees her hometown in Suriname on South America's tropical northeastern coast for the capital city of Paramaribo. Unsettled and supported, her life in this new place is illuminated by romance and new freedoms, but also forever haunted by the past and society's expectations. This one sounds interesting. It might also, since it's from a Dutch author, it might be in my library, probably in Dutch, but we can check. Yeah, this one is in my library in Dutch. It's only 200 pages, so I might do that actually with this one. The next one is Heartlamp by Banu Mushtaq, translated by Kannada by Deepa Bhashti. I guess Kannada is an Indian language. Karnataka, yeah. So it's an Indian language, which is very interesting. And it is one of those pretty and other stories covers, which I really like. However, it says selected stories. So this is short stories. 12 stories exquisitely capture everyday lives of women and girls in Muslim communities in southern India. Lots of women so far. I think this would be very nice, but I don't think it's for me because short stories are typically not for me. But I'm very happy it's here because I think it sounds like an important book. The next one is Perfection, written by Vincenzo Latronico, translated from the Italian by Sophie Hughes. A thought-spare sociological novel about the emptiness of contemporary existence, scathing and affecting in equal measure. Millennial expat couple Anna and Tom are living in the dream in Berlin, in a bright plant-filled apartment in Neukölln. They're freelancers and have a passion for food, progressive politics, sexual experimentation on Berlin's 24-hour party scene. A generation lived on Instagram, and they kind of lose their passion for their job, and then there is the refugee crisis, and then the picture perfect is kind of leaving them. Yeah, this one sounds a bit like wellness. I don't know, it's probably a bit more literary than that because it's Fitzcarraldo. But this one, yeah, not crazy about that one at the moment. The next one is Eurotrash, written by Christian Kracht, translated from the German by Daniel Bowles. Uh, a jaded writer takes his skippy mother and her ill-gotten wealth on a road trip in this tragicomic and absurd semi-autographical novel. So this one is funny, I guess, or it's supposed to be funny. A road trip through Switzerland with his mother that has been discharged from a mental institution. Yeah, this sounds like it's supposed to be funny, and I'm not sure. Under the Eyes of the Big Bird, written by Hiromi Kawakami, translated by Asa Yoneda from the Japanese. Uh, an inventive and immersive speculative novel about a future in which humans are nearing extinction from the best-selling author of Strange Weather in Tokyo. Uh, in the distant future, humans are on the verge of extinction and have settled in small tribes across the planet under the observation and care of the mothers. Some children are made in factories from cells of rabbits and dolphins. Some live by getting nutrients from water and light, like plants. The survival of the race depends on the interbreeding of these and other alien beings. So this is a very different one. It's an astonishing vision of the end of our species as we know it, and meditation on the qualities that, for better and worse, makes us human. This could be very interesting. This one I am interested in. Uh, yeah, I think this one sounds interesting indeed. I have recently read The Chrysalids by John Wyndham, which is also about like post-apocalyptic kind of stuff, and I'm kind of digging that. So this one is one that I'm interested in. The next one is one that I have read. It's Hunchback by Sao Ishikawa, translated by Polly Burton. And this one is about a woman that has a congenital disease, and she becomes obsessed with getting pregnant, and she knows that she cannot have a baby because the deformities are so bad that she knows that that makes it impossible for her to have a child, but she just becomes obsessed with the concept of having an abortion because that means that she's pregnant like other women, but she cannot have the baby. It does have a lot of interesting conversations about deformities and like disabilities, but I did feel like it was a little bit just very weird for no, like, I don't know. I understand the message, but it was very, not just uncomfortable, but very, um, I don't know, not very nice to read. um, so yeah, it's I was not. I understand why it's here, but it's not one that I can say I enjoy. I appreciate it exists. I just didn't enjoy the reading experience. The next one is Small Boat by Vicente Delacroix, translated by Helen Stevenson from the French. Um, and this one is about the migrants. An inflatable dinghy carrying migrants from France to the UK capsized in the channel, causing the death of 27 people on board. And why did it happen? Yeah, it's kind of like a fictional account of something that has happened many times, isn't it? Yeah, I think I don't know about this one because the topic sounds interesting and important and all of that, but I have read things like this before, and I think I would kind of prefer to read a non-fiction about this than a fiction. I'm not completely close to it, but it's not one that's I don't know. I'm a bit hesitant about that one. The next one is Reservoir Beaches by Dalia de la Cerda, translated from the Spanish by Julia Sanchez and Heather Clearly. Uh, this one, just from the description itself, sounds like the kind of book that is trying to be shocking for the sake of it. It's a Mexican, uh, it's about 13 Mexican women as they fight, sue, cheat, cry, and lie their way through their tangled circumstances. Um, From the all-powerful daughter of a cartel boss to the victim of transfemicide from a household of spinster seamstress to socialite who supports her politician husband by faking indigenous roots. Um, yeah, I understand why this could be important and interesting and all of that. Um, I I don't think it's for me. It's I think this sounds like 2666 by Roberto Bolaño or like Fernando Melchor or stuff like that, which is supposed to be shocking. Also, Vernon subtext, something like that. And those, I understand that a lot of people like those, and I have a friend that loves all of those things. That's not my vibe. That's not for me. So I think I'm gonna pass on that one. The next one I have also attempted. That's Solenite by Mircea Cartarescu, translated from the Romanian by Sam Cotter. I did start this and I DNF, I think, around 20-25% in, because it was just too graphic for me, and it was about a man and how being a man, and I don't know, it was very like male, which I have sensed before from Cartarescu. I have read another book from him and it was also very male focused, and this was very male focused, and it was also very gore in the descriptions of bodies and things, and I just didn't want to continue. It's a very big book and I just didn't want to continue. I know that many people love it and it's probably one of the favorites to win the prize. It's just not for me. I didn't enjoy it. And the next one is There's a Monster Behind the Door, written by Kyle Bellam and translated from the French by Karen Fleetwood and Letitia Saint-Loubert. Interesting, there's at least two books that are translated by two people. And there are a lot of French translated stuff. In 1980s Reunion, monsters lurk beneath the surface of a vibrant island life, ready to pounce at the slightest disturbance. High unemployment, low expectations, uh, legacy of post-colonialism. A little girl makes a bid for escape from her sadistic parents' reign of terror and turns to school for salvation. I think I'm again happy this is here. It's it sounds important, but it also sounds like things I've read before. It might not be depending on the writing style, but it kind of sounds like stories that I've read before. So this one is not super high in my list. The next one is On the Calculation of Volume 1, written by Solveig Valle and translated from the Danish by Barbara Heifland. Oh, this is a septology. So this is kind of like John Fosse all over again. Tara Salter has slipped out of time. Every morning she wakes up on the 18th of November. She no longer expects to wake up on the 19th of November, and she no longer remembers the 17th of November, as if it were yesterday. This sounds very wacky. It's about a woman that is trapped in this day for a year and is trying to get out, I guess. It says it takes a familiar narrative trope, a protagonist inexplicably stuck on the same day and transforms it into a profound meditation on love, connectedness, and what it means to exist. Not super sold on this one. The next one is, it's the last one, The Book of Disappearance by Ibsam Assam, translated from the Arabic by Sinan Aton. Um, what if all the Palestinians in Israel simply disappeared one day? What would happen next? How would Israelis react? These unsettling questions are posed by Ismail Assam's powerful imaginative novel. And this is another one of those pretty another stories. And so it has like a paragraph on the front cover of the book. It seems fairly descriptive, uh, but also not. It looks nice, like beautiful, nice, descriptive language. Uh, I am interested in this one. I think this one is yeah, this one can be interesting. A lot of women, I think there were only 3 men, and a lot of political topics and a lot of existential topics as well. There was not much more than that. Like it was either a very like this Palestinian one, or like social topics like disability stuff like that, and then there was like the very meditations on life and existence kind of books. It doesn't seem to have a lot more in between. Very Europe centric. There was a few, couple of Japanese. This one is Palestinian, and a couple from like Suriname and Reunion, but very European centric, which the international booker tends to be fairly European centric. But so far, the more interesting ones to me are On a Woman's Madness, Under the Eye of the Big Bird, and Book of Disappearance. Those are the 3 that I think I might just read. On a Woman's Madness is in my library in Dutch, so I might do that. So Under the Eye of the Big Bird and the Book of Disappearance, I think I can get for a decent-ish price. And we will see how we go with the rest of the list. I don't know if I will pick up anything else. Last year, I just picked up whatever I was interested in, and that worked well for me. I was just not interested in the short list or the long list that much. I think I might do the same this time, because the other ones, unless I hear something very shocking about them, they just don't sound like something that I might or might not like. Like, I don't have doubts about a lot of them. That's all for me. I hope you like this video. Let me know what your thoughts on the long list were. If you're planning to read any other things, or if you have read any of these books and you would recommend, let me know as well, because I'm open to recommendations. And until next video, bye!